Now let's take a look at what mixins are. So let's go up here and we'll create a class, and we'll call it a block. Basically, we're going to give this the properties of something kind of square, give it some padding. So let's give it a border. This is so we can kind of see the effect of what we're doing. And we'll make it 2 pixels solid and pink. Fix that to a colon, and then let's give it a padding, and we'll just use that margin value. So the padding will be 20 pixels. Then let's change the font. Family to sans serif. And we'll also give it a margin of margin. So at this point we could obviously, I mean, regular CSS, we could take this class and we could apply it over here within the HTML by giving one of these elements that class. Or we can use what's called a mixin, and we can take this class and use it elsewhere within here. So let's make all paragraphs be like the block. We just do block. Right, save that. There you go. So every paragraph now takes on these properties. So then what if we like this look and we want to use it just on the H2s. Save that. So see, we can reuse that now. So only the H2s are using it. See, the H3 isn't, H1 isn't. So we really like that. Now we can extend on that and we can do some nesting in here. And how about a hover state? For this, we will just change the border to a different color. And let's go ahead and make it dashed and white. Save that, refresh. So now anything that is using that block mixin will now take on that same effect. This is great for things like buttons, especially. All right. So now that we've got a little bit of a handle on mixins here, let's talk about mixins with parameters. This is where it can get pretty cool, or say even cooler. So let's do, this is where it kind of gets like functions. So let's put parentheses here, and we're going to add a parameter. And we're going to call this size. And what we're going to do is manipulate the border size. So let's replace this 2 pixels with size. All right, but now what we need to do is add that parameter to where we're calling on these mixins. So let's do 4 pixels. But then down here, we can choose a different parameter, 10 pixels. This is probably going to get pretty ridiculous here. Refresh. All right, there you go. So you notice that this carried down into our hover state too, so it stayed consistent when we're hovering over things. Now, what if we wanted to maybe set a default size? We could do size 2 pixels. Then we can still call block without having to pass a parameter. So we'll find something that we're not calling block on. So H3s. Save that. Now we come over here and refresh. And there you go. You see we now have one over H3, and it is the default of 2 because we didn't give it a parameter. So where this can become very valuable, I go back to looking at layout files from the designer. Oftentimes you're going to have a lot of repeat, and not just coloring, but styles. Like I had mentioned earlier, maybe there's always like usually a 20 pixel margin around everything. Or say they like to use buckets or panels or whatever term you want to use, but they usually use a consistent look and feel to it. So you can create that consistent look and feel and reuse it over and over. Other neat things you could do is set up maybe default font sizes. Say maybe in your design file, you have 3 font sizes that they use often. Or actually, to make this even better here, we could do small. Something like that. Then throughout our styling, if we know those are the only font sizes used, say for regular text, we can go through and we can take advantage of that further on down here. Font small. Fresh. There you go. So I challenge you guys to use this, especially if you're going to work on maybe a simple website or even a complicated one, whatever. If you've got something you're working on, a new project, take a look at this. For real simple things, using the client side to process the less isn't too bad. There's also server options if you want to get deeper into that, or if you're more familiar with servers. You can do server-side compiling. But this thing, it's totally changed the way I do CSS and made it way less hectic for me. I say just give it a shot. And if I come up with some more advanced things, I'll do another series on that.